Welcome to this another business ethics series, and in this long series, which we will break it down to numerous sessions, so it would not be too long because otherwise it could run many hours, and we will. I will introduce you to some of these contemporary perspective or issues that very important dealing with concepts and applications of business ethics. So it gives you a more in-depth perspective than the regular textbook coverage. And it is more relevant to today's businesses, especially we are dealing with this pandemic. And so this on this page, the summary of the sort of the topics that we will discuss, and see whether I can recall what I have been put in on the slide and intend to share with you. It was pretty long ago. And well, number one is that we will look into sustainability, and involves developments. Of course, that is a very important issue, because sustainability is you could look at it as the end goal. So you could look at it as the states that it's supposed to be, and or the potential that it can a potential states of the, like a chemical reaction, there is a potential state, or whatever, potential energy, whatever, that it can continues to be utilized in a sustainable long-term manners, and developments necessary. It is necessary that we need to develop, get training, and develop and get more knowledge, and so kind of eliminate those ignorance and our not understanding of what exactly is business ethics and what is sustainability. And if we do not understand them, and then we are in a higher hierarchies, in positions, and whether it is organizations or in a nation, then the decisions that we make will not reflect scientific knowledge and these humanistic and community concerns that allows this potential sustainability to continue for a long time, that and even jeopardize the next generation capabilities and capacities to sustain that sustainability, and then this is considers unethical. Okay, so sustainability becomes a very important issue in ethics and business ethics, because we are more and more connected to this to our world. And we need to be more and more concerned about our society. We need to be more and more integrate society as part of our business plan. And Harvard business professors, Michael Porters and Kramers, and from India, and has already touched upon creating shared value, that we need to share commonly, share some destination. Okay, and without sharing that common destination and value, we are not able to survive. If, for instance, coffee, where are you going to get the coffee if there's nobody else produce the coffee for you? So you got to really value, co-create, and share a common destiny and common understanding and platforms with these suppliers, right? And if you just keep on taking advantage of them and squeeze the price, then it is again in the value capture mental models, which I shared with you in the last modules, and that it will be left with no motivation, right? And if there is no intention and motivation from the supplier, there will be no consistent and committed behavior for them to contribute to this sustainable cultivations of coffee. And so it is very important that we need to creating shared value. As I have demonstrated that every page, it's very, very important. We could simply glance through, or we could spend a long time on a single page. But hopefully all the people sharing and those listening can pick up the essence of my sharing, and can Google and do more literature reviews and recall your experiences or participate in the actual reality to extend commonly between you and me, and together, work hard to give the world a sustainable world. And we will also touch upon a well-being concept of sustainability. And I think well-being, it's very, very important. Sustainability is not static, and it's not inorganic, and it's not only ecological issue. We have neglected a lot of social perspective, especially those well-being concepts in sustainability. So these are the well-being issues we will drill within, and we have a lot of tourism perspective nowadays talking about wellness tourism. We are talking about health tourism and wellness and health tourism in combinations, and medical tourism and things like that. But if we do not really understand the well-being, then we may not have good awareness. As I have already explained it previously on the last slide, on the some of the theoretical and empirical framework on business ethics, the mental cognition schematas and the diagrams, and we know that if we are not aware of all these well-being issues, we will never have focus on those well-being issues. We will never evaluate and make decisions and judge upon ethical decisions based on that particular well-being perspective. So every single word, it's very, very important. If you find it important, we will create awareness with it, on it, and then we will utilize and find intellectual resources to help us, or including consultation, to help us drill down into this particular issue. And then we can evaluate whether it is to what degree and to what level of ethical things that we will need to do. Then we will look, and because of this knowledge needed for awareness and sustainability and also development, we therefore will touch upon and stress on knowledge-based views of business ethics. Okay, it is very important, right? You already know from the previous slide the theory and the data, right? The prescriptive natures of approach of looking into this business ethics by prescribing through to some normative evaluations of the evaluations of all those normative theory, utilitarianisms, or this all this deontological theories, or we can descriptive in the sense of describing our experiences and looking into the patterns of behaviors and their consequences, and we therefore analytically conclude an appropriate way for business ethics. And that is this knowledge is therefore very important. Integrating theories and data, it's knowledge, right? And we were also looking into the sources, the source of how those words comes about. So we're talking about etymological perspective and meanings of ethics, where it comes from, the meanings, and then from there we can kind of get another perspective of how our previous all those scholars and contributors look into business ethics until we gain the benefit today. Then we have this people-centric and also more holistic non-anthropocentric perspective of ethics. It is very important that we should be humble as a human being. And if we always think that human being is the only business issue is only for human beings, so long as we are able to fulfill the human being's right, we can destroy the world, we can destroy whatever, just for the sake of being human and taking care of human being. But if by taking care of human being, and we are ignoring the ecological healthiness, we're destroying the human being. And that is not sustainable. How can it be sustainable? Sustainable needs all these food chain and all these air and waters to be continuously go through a cycle of generations and regenerations and transformation and cleaning it, and chemical reactions and physical reactions and all this issue. So it is a cyclical process, right? You got to be systematic. Each one's connecting to each others in order to create this sustainability. So a perspective, a singular perspective focusing on human being, it's not going to get us into sustainability. And that means we fail knowledge-wise, practice-wise, reality-wise, the sustainability. We fail the business ethics. The ethics needs to be diversity. We need to diversity, meaning beyond human being. We need to embrace the world, embrace caring for the egg, embrace caring for water, embrace caring for the soil, embrace caring for everybody else, including the animals. And this non-anthropocentric, the diversity, respecting their intrinsic value rather than we treat them as instrumental, extrinsic value to benefit us, that is wrong. So it is very, very important. And I have given all this, and if we can, once those students who captures all this simplify essential concept that I have just explained, I'm sure you have the understanding, and you can therefore, based on those understanding, expand your intellectual searching for more applications and idea to help you enhance each of this domain of the understanding. And the relational nature of the ethics, we will also stress upon. And again, most of the textbook ignore this relational nature. We have the relational natures of relation-viewed marketing, relationship-based marketing. Marketing very important. That is not only the 4P, 5P, 6Ps or whatever, but also the relationships are very important. And not only in marketing. If you, let's say, in the society, and if we destroy the relationship, there's no meaning for business ethic. And if you are destroying the positive environments of the relationship, there will be no positive commitment for business ethic. Well, very simple. If you go to work in a company, if the relationship is so confused and so negative, I'm sure everybody will, bye-bye and not working for you. So it is. If you don't have a good relationship with the supplier, they will not commit to deliver the product to you, in a very understandable manner. Right, and so this relationship nature is very important. It's sustainability in the relationship, because without our relationship, without the relationship with the plant and vegetable plants or whatever tree, and these flowers and the sunlight, and if there's no relationship and there's no relationship with the bee, then there will be no continuations of generations, and there will be no fresh air, and they will just keep on. Human beings just keep on consuming and giving up those carbon dioxide, and the plants, who cares? Not your business. You pump up the carbon dioxide, and the plants say that I'm business ethics. I'm not going to have relationship with you. This is your business, CO2. But No, right? The plant needs, they take care of you by take your carbon dioxide and turn it into oxygen for us. So it is very important that we need to really understand the diversity relationship among each other and focus on creating a positive environment for the relationship. Stakeholder theory, of course, is very important because everything we do, somebody's or something else, or even the airs or whatever, the waters are at stake with us. And we produce, we make production, and we're gonna, for example, in a food production systems, we have the food we need to wash, need to clean, and then the washings and cleaning and plus all this protein into the water systems and all this waste and becomes very much need biologicals or chemical digestible in the wastewater treatment plants. And if we don't do that, then it just pumps the water out to the ocean and to the river. You're gonna pollute the river. You're gonna pollute the ocean. So somebody. It's not only the human being are at stake, and peoples are at stake. I mean the environments are at stake. Animals are at stake. People relying on the water and rivers and oceans are at stake. Fish are at stake. And if they die, we die. And a lot of people also don't have clean water to drink, especially in those poverty areas. And so we really need to take care of not only us, but also the in a conceptually a good model for everybody to emulate. And then one word of mouth to another one, to another one, to another one. That is ethical leadership. It is not necessary that we need to understand every single theoretical domains of business ethics. We can explore it as far as the applications, relevant applications pop up, emerging as is concerned. But it is very important that all these dominant issues we have to understand, and particularly at the theoretical platform. So these last two modules plus today modules slowly build out our foundations and understanding and knowledge. With the knowledge we create better capability to aware, because once we have the knowledge, if something happens and that we see, we hear, we feel, we touch, whatever, and because we already have the memory, it's going to crash with the memory or it's going to support the memory, and that gap between us, and this is going to create some perceptual uneasiness and feelings and emotion, and that will start driving us to do some evaluation and judgment. That is what the models, frameworks I was introducing to share with each of all of us together. And then we move on to a more responsible, in a more responsible, systematic, policy-wise manner, corporate social responsibility views of ethics, which is very important. And sometimes it's when we are students, we may think, oh, CSR is just one issue of business ethics. Well, CSR itself is one issue, but CSR itself can be a view of the business ethic. If you are looking into this corporate social responsibility, the structures and the rationale and the reason and the beneficial outcomes of corporate social responsibility and the degree of it should be in a reactive sense or proactive sense, we can learn a lot on business ethics. And so corporate social responsibility will challenge and transform the ethics from a more conceptual, reactive basis to a more systematic, proactive basis that really we need to do something about it to our external world, and not in a small scale, but in a skill that allow people to be a part of self-generation. And so if there is a dynamic issue with corporate social responsibility, it is impossible that we will be able to cover all this perspective. And because the more in-depth we go, the more you have to do research, and the more you have to engage and see the real applications. But just essential concepts that I've just give you a snapshot would be sufficient for you to understand the seriousness and the significance of this corporate social responsibility. So living and dynamically embedded and systemic approach is the descriptive words I have just mentioned. Then we will also focus on this quality ethics relationship. So there is this quality and there is this ethic. And what is the relationship? Is the ethics, is qualities of just again, just like corporate social responsibility application, and not just a perspective of the ethics, or is giving us a new perspective that whichever we do, we need to do in a quality manner. And what does it mean by quality manner? Is it mean efficiency manner, not wasting cost? It's effectiveness manners, ability to solve the real problem. It means that giving us a psychological boost and efficacy. It means other things. It means, you know, all this systematic issue. All these are perspective of this of the ethics, and they are characteristics of ethics. They are not just doing the ethics in order to deliver the quality. No. It is the quality perspective that make us to be even better in quality. So things are in an interrelationship manner, right? So it is, I'm just trying to demonstrate and share with us that it is what is business research, business ethics. It is just nothing but philosophy. And when we talk about philosophy, you need to slow down. Not just simply jump into this memory bandwagons and then grab the couple of memories that we can pick it up from our brain's memory and then make a conclusion. Hi guys, this is this, this is that. It's not going to work. Philosophy requires us to have reflective capability, critical capability, inquisitive capability, extending and getting and humbles, to extend the knowledge, embrace diversity, right? And then looking into alternative in time constraints and in certain budgetary constraints, especially in company, we need to pick and choose, of course. But before we do that, we got to have cognition, cognitive capability, and that is what philosophy is all about. So it is not about theory. It is about how you present your theoretical structure in such a way that people can easily apply philosophy, right? It's applicable. It's not just talking and talking. And quality and ethic, therefore, there is this systemic relationship. And this class is only a glimpse of this, what's happening. Then we are into value-based management. And so we, business administrations and CEO, company leaders, we manage things based on certain value principle. That value principle that drive us, drive our mission, drive our vision, drive our strategies, drive every single thing we do, and brings up the flowers of our reputation. That is and reflected in the cost in this cash flow management and our asset and liability, the balance sheet, and even in the way of our profit and loss. All of these are value-based management, and this value-based management deliver excellence in our business. So we pursue for business excellence. Pursuing for business excellence is just the same as quality. It's just the same as CSR. Is that means an applications of just the ethic, or is that means that it can actually drive and reinforces and even better understand business ethic, so that we can better apply business ethic? Because if we are not doing something excellent, we are not contributing to the fullest. And excellence brings a lot of benefit. It brings motivation, it brings cohesion, it brings synergy, it brings extendability, it brings competitive advantage, it brings competitiveness, it brings sustainability. So it adds a lot of benefit. So all these things, you know, in fact, I can just simply give this descriptions, 1 hour description, and then, you know, if it's advanced classes, especially for, you know, doctorate degree or PhD degree, it is not necessary for us to keep on teaching you. It's you know, I can share a couple of new ideas and concepts, and then it is up to the students to go and, you know, expand what we do. And it's not teaching. We are not in a pedagogical platform or continuing teaching. It is just learning the concept and studying and interaction, dialogue. I think that an application, observation, you know, and systematic, including system simulation, and all these very, very important pedagogical instructions, and students should know about it. And positive, negative instrumental view. And we have this positive view of business ethics. Everybody jumps into the bandwagon. Everybody's doing business ethics. We got to jump into that bandwagon, and then we can go on the road. And then, or we can, you know, a lot of negative pressure from external world that everybody is now focusing on social entrepreneurship, you know, rise, the initiative from the company. God, you know, we got to do it. And that is but you're not sincere, you're not wholeheartedly trying to do it in a positive environmental sense, proactive sense. So it's kind of being pressured by the environment, and that is negative view. And or you try to do it because if by doing it, people will get recognized, will recognize us, and so that they will, you know, be a part of our company, and maybe they will, you know, in the social media, they will put some good news about, oh, this company is doing a lot of social entrepreneurship and blah blah blah, and then, you know, and contributing, and then this is instrumental. So we do things because it helps us to achieve something else. It's not intrinsically positively. There is this motivation. And then we will also introduce, so you know, expanding this is not it's also not wasting, because the rest of these modules I can accelerate, right? So we have almost 200 pages of this module too, and so by giving you know, in-depth conceptual introductory understanding, at the same time quite in-depth, it can have laid a good groundwork for accelerating the rest. Okay, and the next one is oxygen's concepts. I want to bring about Peter Drucker's, Professor Peter Drucker's, which is our fathers, fathers of management, and he talks about that you know, oxygen, the things that we breathe in. It's just like profit, and if you keep on thinking that your whole business is just keep on breathing, right, breathing in your profit and your oxygens, you're missing your life. You're missing the point of life. Life is not only about breathing. Breathing is sometimes pretty natural, and most of the time it's pretty natural, is unaware of it. Right, so we do other things, you know, we do our activities, oxygens. As soon as we start doing our activities, the hearts keep pumping, the you know, this oxygens keep on sucking in, and things like that. So it is automatic. So in corresponding condition situation, a profit just automatic. If you do your job, if we do our jobs correctly in terms of we responsibly, ethically managing our company, you know, those frameworks of 2 modules that I have discussed, plus today, plus these modules onward, we're gonna slowly get into a little bit more application details, and including lastly, we will talk about some of this social entrepreneurship, and you will slowly understand that you know, it is something else besides oxygens. Profitabilities will come naturally. It is the way we live our life and activities we do, and engagements we have with our customers, with our stakeholders, with our suppliers. And if you can convince people, I'm sure you can have a lot of sources of income. not sources of only the income, but also sources of funds. So you will strengthen your liabilities and equity, and that will help you provide the fundamental foundations of monetary foundations to help you move on creatively and innovatively, systematically, structurally, productively in the use of your funds. That is what the asset is all about, return on investment. And so this balance sheet of you requiring you to have a good ethical judgment basis. What I'm trying to share with you is a pivoting point for you to balance and improve your balance sheet. So your equity continues to increase. The more equity you continue to increase, the more liability you can absorb, the debt equity ratio. And the more debt equity ratios keep on multiplying, and securities and reliabilities and risk minimization, the more asset you have. And then you can use that to help you, generate huge income. And the more income you have, the more profit you have. And then it pumps into your cash and it gets into your asset. Right, cash, right? It's working capital. It's also back into your asset. So all these are systematic issue in the financial management control system. And these are very, very important. We have to manage our business ethically. And so this, the next is the concept of effectiveness and efficiency, doing the right things right. Doing the things right and doing the right thing right said in combination give you a lot of ideas about business ethics, right? And they also have different level. Effectiveness, there is an output, there is an outcome. And efficiency, well, it's just working on according to the policy, according to whichever resources is given to you, or minimize the use of resources to meet the requirements of the output. And so there is this different cognitive understanding and different hierarchical level and operational strategic level of interpretation of your business ethics. And so ethics, at the end of the day, if we are not able to link the ethics into the domain of operations and business strategies and the vocabulary and the languages of what we do every day, there will be no meaning for business ethics. Everybody will not apply business ethics. Every time we talk to the many people, they will say, well, business ethics, I know, I understand, but I do not know how to apply it. Well, I understand, but well, if there is certain need to do, I will do it. That means we do not bring the descriptive understanding of business ethics into our business domain, into our day-to-day business languages. So it is very, very important that we have to go back and challenge. And this module it's very, very important, and it's not easily found in other textbook. And this is very, very important. The next one, we will move on to the continuous couple more is the descriptive data and the normative approach to ethics. We will reinforce again, and as I have already told you that the world is, we have two worlds. One, we are living in a data world, we are living in a theoretical world, and very simple. We see things and we hear things and we touch things and we feel the things. But whatever we do and expose to this empirical world, we actually make sense of this world through our theory, through our mental model. So when we say, well, this guy is very friendly, well, we interpret that from the perspective of our own mental understanding. So we actually use a theoretical model, a conceptual model, whether we understand it consciously, knowing it or not, to interpret the data. Everything becomes perception, whether you like it or not. Some of the researchers will say, well, this is qualitative and that is quantitative. Well, I know. You tell even those, when we say so, you are interpreting that it is qualitative and it is quantitative based on your own interpretation. So the way we understand the empirical world is actually conceptually done. You construct your own world, right? The world is as it is, But we construct the world. We think it is supposed to be quantitative world. We think it's supposed to be qualitative world. And so there is this descriptive approach, and there is this normative approach, and there is this integrative use of this descriptive and normative approach. And this is very, very important. In another slide, I talk about Industry 4.0 and 5.0, the competencies of us today. And especially moving into Industry 5.0 and 4.0, the end of the 4.0, the advanced side of 4.0, we need to move from this normative, deductive of optimizations and fuzzy situations into more ability to make use of real-time data to prescribe intelligently. That is induction. That is qualitative. In that sense, it is qualitative doesn't mean it is not using quantitative. It is using quantitative to qualitatively explain and prescribe the strategies that we need to do, and that is called induction, inductive competency. This is a very important perspective of business ethics. Leveraging the functions of codes of ethics, we have talked about it from the theory, right, to the principles, and then to the rules and regulation, and then to these codes of ethics. And so these are a very systematic, hierarchical, step by step. And code of ethics provide us this guideline. Of course, the concepts behind the code of ethics is governed by all these principles, like golden rule principles, right? If we want to do something, we also would expect that other people would do the same thing to us. And so we should do things good, right? So good thing. And then to other perspective, even higher level perspective is all those theory, right? So leveraging functions of codes of ethics, it's also not so easy. Okay, you can just simply follow it, just like single loop learning, or you can go into double loop learning to challenge your assumptions and the theories and the principles behind the formations of the codes of ethics. And some of the codes of ethics are probably in many companies are already too old. And maybe we just need to get rid of those and put a new perspective, create a new frames of new context and new set of codes of ethics, because there are a lot of more digitized things coming into the picture, and there are a lot of other issues, and people are more interactive and not in the closed form. So, just sharing a little bit of data, say, okay, you have done something bad to the company. So what does it mean? Your code of ethics is not in reflecting the context of this Industry 4.0 and 5.0. So everybody's saying, it's true, right? In the nation, we see two nations, a couple of nations, and say that, well, you're copying my data, you're copying my this, you're copying my technology. And so are you sure that our code of data reflect the digitization? And so, if you have to really prevent it by yourself, by ourselves, maybe through security issues, technological advancement, and things like that, right? Resolving ethical dilemmas is for sure every ethical issue, because they're different, involving the moral agents of making decision, and the stakeholders were influenced by the decision. And so there are always a lot of, and in the models that we have talked about it, in terms of how people's how things are influencing this awareness, and then leading to the judgments and intentions and behavior. So we have a lot of different types of issue, including opportunities, including the triangle fraud, opportunities and all these rationalizations of your brand and whatever. And then it creates a lot of dilemmas, ethical dilemmas. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I cheat or should I not cheat? Should I copy or should I not copy? Should I go to this extent or should I just stop here? All right. Should I help more or should I help less? So all these ethical dilemmas, right? And then we have once you have understand all these things, we come to a very quick understanding how you can check. I can talk a lot. I can talk and talk and talk, but who is going to confirm that whatever I'm talking, it's making sense? It has this theoretical foundation. It makes theoretical understanding. So we got to, spread share on YouTube, and so everybody, it's just like ventilation, ventilators. The air just spread all around, air conditioning to every places of the building. Just ventilator is just the way of, for instance, ethical testing. So if you want to test your ethic, you just, hi everyone, this is my point of view, and and invite brainstorming and invite opinions, and that is called ethical testing. So we will look into those issues, and we also will look into this ethical the triangle, and it looks like there is this is supposed to be. Yeah, I think this is probably this right way. And the next one is the triangular relationship between ethics. We have already understand that ethics is the philosophical the knowledge and understandings of what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do. And then with that right thing and wrong thing foundation, theoretical intellectual foundation, you can then help to set up this in organization, your structure, the way you interact with people, the communication, the role and accountability, responsibility, the transparency of your system, of your data, and then that is this internal structures, and of course there's the interacting with the stakeholders and shareholders and things like that. But it's within the compare and the boundary, and like when you study the thermodynamics, and before you do the thermodynamic first law and second law analysis of, for example, the power plants, or a coal-fired power plants, or even the engines of this aircraft, and you got to know where is your boundary. So once you know your boundary, then you know the in and out, and this inside, all kind of generators and transformers and whatever, the pumps, heat pumps, whatever. Then you can start to do some analysis. It's the same thing for a business ethic. You got to know your boundary, and that is corporate governance is all about. And then once you have that structure and you know your knowledge base, then the other thing is you really have to apply socially responsible for reaching out to every place and space that you have, internally and externally, corporate social responsibility. So these action-driven and the system and this knowledge, and that integrate a very holistic triangle. And that is called the triangular relationship between ethics, corporate governance, and corporate social responsibility. One is the intellectual zone, another one is the structure zone and system zone, and the other one is the action zone. Okay, so it is a very simple understanding. So all these things, once we understanding it, we can easily apply and help to manage and like a good CEO in our company. Otherwise, every time when we want to manage a company, and because ethic is ethic and business is business, and I'm sorry, I do not know business ethic, and so many things about business ethic, it's not my field. Well, it is not my field because we do not bring the business ethic into the context and languages of business ethic. Now you understand the business ethic as the intellectual sources, and your corporate governance as your system and structure, and your responsibility of all your things that you're, the coverage of all your activity, and then you can easily do it, right? And every day we're exposing to data, and every day we are thinking. We are all the theory in our head, right? Whether you like it or not, it's all theory, right? Profit and loss. Who say it's not a theory? I mean, it's a financial theory that in your head, in our head. So all these are just normal language of business ethics. Then we are concluding with a process view. Okay, step number one, okay, which you already know in our second modules, talking about the business ethics modules on the mental model framework, right? From this a whole bunch of antecedents and preconditioning, or even the SWOT swap and swap variables, which they will influence the this awareness, our capability, the degree of our awareness, and then slowly once we're aware, then we start to judge upon it. And the way we judge upon it also depends on our knowledge and depends on people influencing us. It depends on our society, depends on our culture, depends on our environment, depends on opportunity, it depends on this. And then slowly we move on to intention and to all this behavior and including feedback. All this is a process view. So you already have understood a lot of process. But one things I would like to bring specifically to the attention is this Buddhist eightfold path. It means that our thinking driven by the views, by our assumptions, by our mental views, mental understanding, mental concept. That mentality will drive our thought process, and which is the strategy and the evaluation, and which will drive the ethical speech, ethical leadership, ethical speech, ethical behavior, and the way we manage our company on a day-to-day basis. Livelihood that give us the income, and then creates the result. And if the results are good, because we're doing something good and we maintain it in a feedback controlled manner, then we are, we remain focused and we remain in a very calm, stable manner. And so we have samadhi, we have concentration, and we have this mindfulness, continuous feedback and consciousness. And then we have this continuous effort to make PDCA, plan, do, check, act, plan, do, check, act. We already plan, we do it, we check it, and then we recorrect it, add on it, preventive maintenance, or corrective action plan, to whatever. And so all this in this Buddhist eightfold path, it's separated into one is this knowledge, wisdom's domain. Okay, and which is your, the views, right? The right views will lead you to the right thoughts, evaluation, right? So as you go to the module 2, all the people talk about all the views and theoretical views, normative views, all these views will give you this ability to be aware and challenge your ability to evaluate and thinking and cognition. So it is view, cognition, view, drive, cognition, right view, drive, right cognition. Okay, and then with the right cognition, then it drives the right speech, right? Our talking, and the right, because when we talk, before we talk is a thinking in our head that drive our sense, the muscle, the motors, and then so the electric signals to our the motors and the tongue, and then so that we can just like a robot, and we can speak and speak and speak. This is just nothing but robotic control. And then once we have done it, and then we will use our speech, walk, talk, walk the talk, walking, walk the talk, action, right action. And then walk the talk in a systematic manner, and then allows you to earn income, right livelihood. That is profit and loss. And with that, you don't stop there. You gotta have, that is, so we have the right, wisdom, and wisdom is very important theory of business. Ethics in way virtue for all the normative theory, and it's very important as a virtue. If people trust me, that is because they trust me because they see the power of our wisdom. So wisdom is a part of being virtue, because virtue, there is no theory involved. So how do we make decision trusting on one person? Because we trust their wisdom. And so we trust they are able to do the job right and do the right job. And this is very, 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 very important, right? It's very, very, very important. And so the next, once we have the right wisdom, then we will have the right action, speech, and right, and the actions and the income statements, right, livelihood, our sustainable business. That in Buddhist ethics, we call it the precepts, which is the sila, your precepts, the action that you do, ethical action that you demonstrate, manifest out, right? Because wisdom is intangible, but the tangible part is this your speech, your action, your livelihood, right? So there is this intangible ethics on the first side, the wisdom side, and this tangible ethics on the second side, right? And then it's not sufficient. if you want to have a systematic, sustainable, transcending manner that will always move your results and business ethics contributor performance of your company up and up and up and up, you need meditation. So we need the right meditation practices, right samadhi, right concentration. And how we do that? Well, to allow you to be able to focus your company performance and social responsibility issue and your effort again and again in a sustainable way. Number one, you need to monitor it. You need to put the monitoring control system, PDCA, plan, do, check, act, plan, do, check. That is right effort. And you need sensors, right? You need to sense your all this requirement. You need to PD, plan, do, check it. And not only that, you need to have continuously mindful of what you are doing. And the mindfulness, consciousness is very, very important to stress upon. And then the other thing is that once you have all this issue, remain in concentration, remain in focus, remain in concentration, remain in stability. Don't simply and the whole company destroy, and see a lot of company, and that's why we need a CEO, because it's so stable. Everything happening, it's still stable. Why is that so? Because I'm not doing anything harm. I have a right precepts. And why? Because I have a good wisdom. So anything happen, I have the wisdoms to go and help me and right speech, right thought, right action, right? And then because I have continues to do all these PDCAs and I'm mindful of all those things, and I always remains calm. So calmness, it's just reflections of your stability, of your performance, that there is not much variation, and that proves sustainability. If it's a whole bunch of variations and things that you are not able to resist, that something is wrong in your wisdom. Something is wrong when the way we act, we do, we speak, and we livelihood. And something's on PDCA, something on our mindfulness. It's not there, and we are not able to deliver concentration. So the concentration of stability and samadhi come from the end, come from all these previous, of course, we need continuous efforts, but it is reflections on all this sustainability. So sustainability comes from all this wisdom and action. Walk the talk, talk the walk. And then lastly, I would like to give you a presentation on business model, because we are very, very familiarized with this business model canvas. And how do we look at business canvas and understanding way in how we position our business ethic? This is very important. If you and me and everybody else has this ability to see business model and understand that superimposing it is a business ethics context, then things becomes very simple. Then business ethics suddenly becomes open-minded and open innovation, and embrace all these literature reviews, embrace all kind of possibilities of research and all this issue. So today's slide, unfortunately, just one slide, it's already 1 hour, and we will stop here, but it can give, this slide can serve many, many purposes. It can serve as the opportunity for business research. And I would take this opportunity of this slide to give us this ability to continue doing based on this understanding, and we can do the literature review. We can extend our understanding and exploring for more research and applications relating to business strategies and business ethics and applications, so we can become smarter and in our application. Okay, so I will stop here.